Welcome back to the Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Golseth.
Are you in the Christmas mood?
I am.
No, you are, because
I have
we're
a
talking about
Christmas tree
Christmas
at home.
music. Talking about Christmas music, and we have more Christmas music events to share with you.
Yes.
Excited about that. Joining us today, Dr. Kurt von Kampen, Professor of Music, Chair of the Music Department, and Director of Choral Activities at Concordia University Nebraska. Dr. von Kampen, welcome to the Coffee Hour.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
I am excited to share about more Christmas festivities.
Yes.
Particularly when it comes to music, at Concordia University Nebraska coming up very soon. Let's learn about the music program and the opportunities for students to experience music at Concordia University Nebraska. What's the role of music for students at Concordia University Nebraska?
Well, I think we have several purposes here in what we do in music. One is to train musicians. For now, we want them to become exceptional in their artistry and their ability to perform, and also, and maybe primarily in their ability to teach music to others. And then the broader purpose is to say, we have something here that can impact the church at large and the world. And so our students, when they leave here, we want them to be great representatives of hopefully an outstanding music education, but also we want them to be missionaries when they go out and use music as a tool to help others not only experience the wonders of the musical art, but more importantly, to see Jesus in everything that they do. And so if all we've done is trained exceptional musicians at Concordia, we don't feel like we've really done our job. We don't feel like we accomplished everything. They have to know where the source of the gifts are, and that's and we stress that comes from the Lord. And then specifically to say that we have so much to be grateful for, and the greatest thing, of course, is the saving work of Jesus Christ. And so I think that is very intentional here. Not that every single piece of music we do is telling the entire story of the birth, life, death, and resurrection of Christ, but that they fully understand how Concordia is different and what they're going to get at Concordia, that how things will look a little bit differently than maybe other places. So hopefully that does that kind of answer that question?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Music is such a special thing to be able to do at a Concordia. And like you mentioned, it evolves and really takes place very differently in the life of the student as they're formed into a young adult, as they're looking to graduate. It's a very special thing to be able to do that. What are the opportunities available at Concordia, Nebraska for students to be available to be engaged in music? Thank you. I was so excited. I forgot my words.
It's very exciting. The primary opportunities that we have for all students are ensembles, and our ensembles are open to the entire campus community. Any student can audition for or register for a music ensemble. We have kind of a tiered hierarchical setup for choirs and bands. There are top groups. You can audition for those if you want to. Anyone can, music major or not. But then we also offer ensembles that do not require auditions, that anyone can be in, a kind of a y'all come sort of thing. And so there's a choir, a mixed chorus at kind of the entry level, and it has beginners in it, and it also has some students who are actually quite talented, but they maybe can't schedule the performance and rehearsal demands of like the a cappella choir. We also have some groups that are open to the community, and the Seward community is very supportive of Concordia. We have a great relationship with our community members. And so we have an orchestra, and we have an entry-level band where community members can participate in those groups. Those are evening rehearsals. I think it's important to all of us in the music department that we aren't some kind of little sect, and that we are just here to kind of have this group of music majors and all, full of people that are singularly motivated to make music. But we say, no, we want the music department to be a campus-wide department. And so hopefully all students know that they are welcome, and that, that we'll take anyone wherever they're at and try to help them use the talents that they've been given them. So we have 5 choirs, we have 2 wind bands, we have an orchestra, we have 2 handbell choirs, we have praise bands. Let's see, what am I missing? Jazz band, brass ensemble. These are all, offerings that students can participate in. So there's a lot of different options. We have, I don't know if this is the place to talk about it or not, or the time to talk about it, but we have a new building project underway, and we're excited about the new opportunities that space will provide as well. So there's just a lot going on in this campus. I think we generally have last few years, we've had between 60 and 70 music majors studying in music education, church music, music therapy, or performance, and then probably around 250 students or so that regularly participate in one or more of our ensembles.
I'm excited to talk about Christmas, but you brought up something new, and I want to just touch on that. You mentioned a new building. What will that space provide for music at Concordia?
The building that we operated out of since the 1960s, radically nice when it was built. It was really a showcase facility, and I think as good as anything we'd seen in the Concordias for music education. But one of the problems with the building is that it was not accessible. We had a lot of levels, and it was impossible to get to all the different levels for people that couldn't negotiate stairs and so forth. And instrumental music, we were always bringing instruments up and down stairs, and that wasn't probably the safest thing for the instruments or the students. And so it became clear quite a long time ago that we at least needed an elevator. And when we looked at the potential for adding that to the current building, it became clear after some time that it was not going to be a financially wise decision to try to retrofit the current building. So the architects came up with a plan that looks like it was pretty brilliant, and that is to demolish half of the current building and rebuild it so that it was up to the level of the other portion. So we kind of had an east box and a west box, and the east box was demolished, and in its place is a larger, much nicer facility that includes an elevator. And so even though the elevator was sort of the impetus behind this building, what Concordia decided to do was to say, music is too important to this campus to simply try to retro a building, and ultimately it would have actually ruined a bunch of spaces. And so the decision was made to rebuild. And so now the entire facility, the east box is going to be brand new, and the remaining portion, the west portion, if people have been on campus and they know Concordia Seward, the west portion is where the recital hall was with the Cassavant organ practice rooms in the basement, a bunch of studios, classrooms, so forth. That's all staying, but it's being completely renovated. So every wall, every ceiling, every floor is going to get treatment so that the building is acoustically superior. And what we know about acoustics now in 2021 compared to what they knew in 1960, it's vastly different. And so the entire building is going to function better. And the new portion, the east portion, includes a band and orchestra room that's about 30% larger than our former one. Choir room, same thing, about 25 or 30% larger. It's going to have another classroom, which we desperately needed for music therapy. It'll have Steinway studios all along one of the corridors on the north section. And then in the basement, it's going to house a studio theater, which we've had a black box theater in the old portion. And it was important that we provide that again in this space too. And it'll be fully equipped. It'll have a nice high ceiling, so it'll be a lot better for theater. And then also another new feature will be a recording studio in the basement. And that recording studio has been designed by one of the recording engineers in the Midwest. And it's going to be just a fantastic facility. And we have a lot of hopes that we can expand our programming and offer, a music degree with emphases in recording techniques and studio recording. So yeah, the renovation project is really going to transform the music facility on this campus, and we're looking forward to filling the building and we'll have more room for more students. So we'll be able to increase our number of music majors and increase the number of offerings that we have as well. So more and more students can get involved.
All of that sounds amazing. And I was able to go to the Nebraska campus just a couple months ago and see the building project. And my husband was super excited about it. He's a music alum from Nebraska. So he was explaining all of these things to me. Very cool. Let's talk Christmas at Concordia really quick before we run out of time. We have just about 2 minutes. Tell us about Christmas at Concordia. What can we look forward to? The music, the different groups that will be performing during this.
Sure. Concordia has offered a Christmas concert for probably 70, 80 years, maybe even before that. But about 20 years ago, we landed on this idea of Christmas at Concordia, and we developed a concert / worship / pageant performance experience that includes representative groups from the music department. And we perform a seamless concert, basically. And there's scripture reading, there's hymns and carols that are sung, and then performances by the concert band, a cappella choir, the Cantamos Women's Chorus, the male chorus, handbell choir, organ students leading some of the hymns, brass players. It's just a great variety of things. And it's not a typical concert where one group goes up and performs 3 songs and then applause, and then the next group comes up. It's not sort of a recital format. It's a seamless thing where the audience actually doesn't applaud until the very end. So it has a real worshipful kind of feeling to it in addition to being a music concert. And we have 4 performances, and generally every year they sell out really quickly. So we expect to have 2,500 or so people in attendance over the.
Well, it sounds fantastic. How can we learn more about Christmas at Concordia?
You can go online to Concordia's website, and there's a link there that describes the event. I'm not going to tell you that there are tickets available at this point, but I would say if you wanted to contact Concordia and ask if you can get put on a waiting list, it's always possible that somebody won't show up and we might have some room, but generally those tickets go pretty fast.
I bet. A Christmas at Concordia coming up this weekend. Dr. Kurt von Kampen, professor of music, chair of the music department, and director of choral activities at Concordia University Nebraska. Dr. von Kampen, thank you so much for being our guest on the Coffee Hour.
My pleasure.
You've been listening to the Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.
The Coffee Hour with Andy and Sarah is a production of KFUO. To support the Coffee Hour and KFUO Radio, visit KFUO.org. You can also text KFUO to 41444 or send an email to gifts@kfuo.org. And you can call us at 800-844-0524. KFUO. Christ for you, anytime, anywhere.